Hey guys, before I take you to today's content, I want you guys to take advantage of our Pro Web Legal Services Initiative that we have going on right now in the second quarter of 2024. What is that? Well, it's a website that you get 100% full-blown website with 1 year maintenance, comes with SSL certificate, hosting, etc., all for 50% less than the normal cost. This offer used to be $4,500. We're now giving it to you for $2,250, 100%, no strings attached. All you have to do is go to the show notes right now and click on the link where it says Pro Web Legal, and you'll get all the information. So until then, enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are looking to substantially increase your caseload in the next 6 months, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming of the Local Business Guy. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today, I have a special episode for you because I have one of the U.S.'s strongest agency leaders, and we'll get into that a little bit when I bring him on. To work in this space of marketing to the legal entity. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the great Pat Dillon. How's it going, Pat?
Excellent. Thanks for having me on, Frank.
Hey, thanks for being on. Pat, I said a few things about you, but I didn't want to take away from it because you have such a broad experience here. Why don't you tell us who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, I'm Pat Dillon. I own Wise Digital Partners. I own about 4 or 5 operating businesses right now as well, and I've been an entrepreneur from go. I started my first business when I was 12, and had multiple employees at 14, and just sort of followed a path that I saw my parents leading as entrepreneurs, and my dad owned a big accounting firm. My mom owned a graphic design business. And so I think I had this itch to own my own business and control my own, destiny and path from go. And I moved out to San Diego from Wisconsin in 2006 to start my first business. And I've just built a lot of businesses since. So I think I'm actually starting my 11th and 12th businesses this year.
Wow.
So beyond a digital marketing agency, which is about 95% of my time. It's what I really love to do. It's my third digital marketing agency. This is the one I'm going to see through to the end, and not, I don't really have any interest in it, having it acquired or anything like some of my past businesses because it supports a lot of my other enterprises. So I own 2 janitorial companies. I'm now launching a mold, water, and fire restoration business with a couple partners. I'm starting a whiskey brand, and it's not going to stop there. Our agency supports all those businesses too, but
Nice.
my first love is marketing, I think.
Right. So what is it about marketing that you love so much, out of curiosity?
I've had a one-on-one conversation with about 10,000 business owners over the last 12 years. And when you ask 10,000 business owners, where do they get business from? What do you think 99% of them say?
Referrals.
Yep. And do you think referrals is marketing?
No. Well, let me take that back. It is. because you're marketing based on the results. The only reason you're getting those referrals is because of the results you're giving the clients that you have. So,
In my opinion, referrals are not marketing.
okay.
Referrals are the byproduct of doing good business. Come natural to businesses that do good work. That shouldn't be part of a marketing plan. It shouldn't be part of a marketing thought, because you're already affecting it. The things that we do in marketing are so different. They're so strategic and comprehensive and well planned and well budgeted and well partnered. That's real marketing. And if you just assume that referrals are going to come, you don't worry about them, you don't think about them, they're not part of your budget. Your budget should go to the things that you can actually affect. Now, of course, you can have monthly meetings with clients, you can go see clients, you can ask for referrals. But, when we saw the pandemic hit, what was the first thing that businesses lost? Clients and the ability to meet with people.
Correct.
And so referrals dried up. And I think in no other time in recent business history did small business owners especially feel the negative impact of a strategy built on referrals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really dangerous thing for businesses to sit around and wait for referrals as a strategy to growth. I had a father that owned a big accounting firm, quite successful, built it over many decades. But the growth of that firm was 10% per year, which he thought was fantastic. And that was generally accepted as a good benchmark for growth.
Yeah. But
my new agency, which we started in 2019, has grown 57% per year for 5 years. We just hit, or we will hit, the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies. I'll do that for the next 5 years. We're doing that with other businesses of mine as well. And it's because we don't accept growth based on referrals.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And plus, with a referral-based marketing plan, if you will, you can't measure. You can't say, oh, I'm going to get 5 referrals next month. You could do that with digital marketing, but you can't do that with referral-based marketing.
Yeah, you can measure. You can't project for it. You can't budget for it.
Budget for it. Yeah,
I think that's what you mean, right? You can't say for sure I'm going to get X referrals next month or next quarter or next year. There's a lot of other things that are wrong with that idea too. Is like with referrals, you're not in control of your business.
Yeah.
You're also going to get like businesses that you currently have. And what if there's much better and bigger businesses out there? Some of our 7 of our top 10 clients in the last 5 years came from our website, came from people finding us online. Businesses that are in some cases industries or categories of industries that we would have never thought about or had access to. We were doing the website, digital marketing, and all this for the last couple of years for one of the largest accounting firms in Australia, a public company. I've never been to Australia. How would I have been referred to the CEO of this giant public company? We have a $60 million a year janitorial company. I happen to own a couple of janitorial companies. Those guys are easy to talk to. But a $60 million a year janitorial company based in Phoenix that just cleans hotels, I would have never met that person. If I sit around and wait for referrals, I'm going to get referred to business owners that are just like the business owners that I currently work with. And what if I want to level up? My staff, my team, the expertise, experience that we have is better suited for businesses maybe 5 or 10 times bigger than our current average base of clients.
Right.
We're not going to get referred to those new category of businesses.
Yeah. No, I got you. I'm a huge advocate. I say this all the time on my show. I'm a huge advocate of digital marketing. I mean, that's why I'm in the business as well.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question though. I mean, there's a lot of things that are changing in the digital landscape. Like for instance, now this AI revolution's taking over. How do you feel that's going to affect us as digital agencies and the clients who we serve?
So I've been in the technology space since 2006, but I've owned a digital marketing agency or agencies for about 13 years. The reason I chose the name Wise Digital Partners for this business, which is, I finally don't have any majority partners. I don't have any major investors. I can run the business the way I think it needs to be run. But the name Wise Digital Partners was really set out to everything is changing, will change, will continue to change at a more faster and rapid rate in digital than in other industries. And you need to seek out sage advice from true experts, your wise partners. Because just like when search came out, just like when social media came out, just like as AI is coming out now, you need a partner that can help explain it, master it, use it, or tell you when this is just noise. Like, forget this. AI is not noise. Jamie Dimon just said something about AI this week, that this is real and it's being used more effectively by certain businesses than others. In digital marketing, we've been using AI, we have 7 or 8 different departments here. AI is probably used in all of them now. And some of the departments have been using AI for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And so, like, what the market is seeing, this new AI thing, well, that's sort of old news to us. We're just using
it. Yeah. To us, it's not new, but
right.
Yeah. But to the layman, it's because it's been proliferated out there now.
Yeah. What's interesting, about how useful it is, I just used ChatGPT to come up with a business name for my new mold, water, and fire restoration company. And I've helped about 500 business owners come up with their business name over the last 12 years or so. I've got a formula for it. I've got a spreadsheet for it, how I figure out all the social handles and URLs and USPTO stuff and trademark and all that stuff. I threw in a prompt into ChatGPT that said, come up with a business name for a mold, water, and fire restoration company serving local markets. URL must be available and competition for that name must be low in this particular space nationwide as we expect to expand into multiple markets.
As specific as that.
And I clicked generate. Didn't like the first one. Click generate again. Didn't like that one. Said generate me 5 new ones. In that list was one that was perfect. Bought the URL, got the business set up, got the entity formed, and we're now going through trademark process. And what used to take me about 10 hours of work and a lot of back and forth with the client, blah blah blah, took me about 10 minutes.
That's beautiful.
And then I used Google Gemini, to come up with a plan for the next 24 blog topics when the website launches. And it was based on search volume and competition and relevancy to the things that we'll be doing. And, my SEO team, who could veto anything I say because they're way smarter than me at everything they do, said, that's great, let's go with it. And so it's changing everything in copy, in design. We're using it in so many different ways. Now, you can't use what's wrong is a lot of business owners think about, and I think also smaller agencies think about using AI to write blogs. And Gemini for that stuff, right? They can tell the tone and voice that comes from generative AI versus a human being.
Yep.
But what is great is, we've all had writer's block or, artistic block, coming up with logos and stuff. And AI can really help get through those blockages faster or get ideas started quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only reason why I use it, is because especially if I get, like for blog topics, sometimes we do blogs for our clients, and sometimes we just say, okay, we talked about estate planning so often, I've got to come up with something else. So, and I just put that in, and it gives me some ideas, and then, then I put my writers to work. who sometimes they use ChatGPT for some content and then they'll just massage it a little bit or
Yep.
a lot, but it's just from ideas. So yeah, as long as it's used like that, it's not a problem. But I've known some firms like you mentioned that use it primarily and just slap it on there, and that's
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
that's
they're
a
just
nice.
asking to be punished,
Yeah.
and
Not a good
they're,
thing.
yeah, they're going to lose rankings. They're going to destroy their business because they're trying to cut corners. And we see that in everywhere in life. If you're trying to cut corners, you're going to get caught at some point.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So let's get into the topic at hand. I wanted to talk about is, I mean, the topic that we're talking about is it's not building, it's crafting a business. I have never heard of that put that way. So I want you to explain that a little bit in terms of building versus crafting.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying today's content. While I have you on here, I want to introduce you to a promo that we have going on for the spring of 2024 for all legal practices throughout the U.S. I have an outstanding offer that we've never been able to offer before, but we want to do it because you have been an avid listener. We're only promoting this to people who listen to the show. So if you're an attorney and you are an avid listener to the show and you're thinking about possibly opening your own practice, you want to pay attention to this announcement. We are offering a full website with hosting, SSL certificate, online booking service, online appointment management, and more, and much more, with a 1-year maintenance, all for $2,250. That's $2,250 one-time fee, and you have a full-fledged website. If you want to know more about this, just give us a call at 888-416-7752 or send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com. Just make sure that you mentioned that you heard it on the show, and we'll definitely get you that discount. So with that, I'm going to bring you back to the content.
Well, building is, I think, sometimes when most people think about building, they're thinking about just putting blocks together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter, what direction maybe it goes in. Crafting is designing a business that you want to run, that you want to be a part of, that you want to spend your time in. I mean, business owners, our business is our baby. And I've seen so many business owners and entrepreneurs who end up with a business that they really don't like 5 or 10 years or 20 years in, and it becomes a burden for them. For the most part, I'd say my businesses are not that way because I play the part I want to play in them. I'm also designing them in a way that they become something I'm excited about, proud of. 5 or 10 years in, I've had the opportunity to build a lot of businesses. And I remember my first couple businesses, I hated them. I hated what we ended up selling. I hated what we ended up selling to more. I built with a partner and 60 investors the first private label version of Groupon.
Mm-hmm.
And our clients became 900 major media publishers in the United States. So TV stations, newspapers, radio, NBC Universal, Clear Channel, like big conglomerates. In this period of time, which was during the recession where Groupon became like this great product, right? Because now all of a sudden you can go get 50% off your massage or your meal. It was really attractive at the time. And we helped publishers attract that kind of advertiser with the hopes of, they would work with them later. Well, we lost 75% of the media companies in America during about a 6 or 8 year period.
Wow.
And it's a really bad idea to be attached to a dying industry and business because everything they're doing is reactive.
Mm-hmm.
And, crafting a business is much more a proactive approach to designing what you want out of life, what you want out of your enterprise and your business, developing a better opportunity for your employees. I mean, this is the first business where I've been able to, because I don't have any, major partners or investors or any of that stuff, to do everything that I wanted to do for my employees, like all the health, vision, dental, 401k, all the time off and benefits that you would get in a larger organization, so that we can become that larger organization.
Mm-hmm.
But it really came down to designing how we create revenue. And we talk with law firms all the time about how they're developing different practice areas, how they're going after clients, how they're going, like, what's their ideal type of client in every single practice area. And you dive into T&E work, right? Like, how much business do you want from planning versus from litigation? Or when you move into the PI fields, like, what types of clients and cases, are a better opportunity for your business. And then let's then go compare that to the competition in your particular market, because it's different than a market next door.
Right.
And so, really coming in as the strategist, and then developing with our clients a holistic approach to building the business that they want. And then once that's defined and written out and agreed upon, then we start getting into all the aspects of digital. And when we're putting together the foundation, which typically takes 12 to 16 weeks to put together the base foundation, everything related to the website, but an ad strategy, an SEO strategy, a blogging strategy, directory strategy, a review strategy, all that stuff. We're throwing 12 to 15 people at the project for 4 months. And then we launch and we dominate.
Right.
And yeah.
I'd love to know, before we hit record, you gave us a success story, because full disclosure, most one of your target markets are attorneys, and a lot of people who are attorneys listen to this show. So I'd love to talk a little bit more about Wise Digital Partners, who you target, who you help, and any success stories, like in particular the one you talked about a little bit right before we hit record. You mind sharing that again?
Yeah. Yeah, and for context, we have employees in 4 countries, clients in 3 or 4 countries. We operate in 30 or 40 different industries. But professional services, that bucket is law firms, accounting firms, insurance companies, wealth planning, that type of stuff. Legal's been our number 1 vertical for about 13 years, and now it's sort of tied with accounting. We work with a lot of accounting firms, but professional service firms, need the same types of services and strategy for the most part. And so a good example, the one you're speaking of, was we have a client, a law firm in Denver. When they came to us, they're probably about 55 to 60 people. They were a full service firm, a lot of different practice areas. There were 2 practice areas that were hurting a little bit. The one that was really hurting was the PI area. The partner running that was actually a frat brother of my brother in college. And he and I went to business school together. So, that got a nice conversation started. But, as we dove in, he was working with Scorpion, which is one of the largest marketing agencies in the US for law firms. I felt like Scorpion kind of rests on our laurels. They're such a big company, and they're so well funded that they can afford churn. I found that out recently. Actually, last year I hired a salesperson from there and confirmed everything I knew. But I asked the client, why are they leaving Scorpion? They had been there for 3 or 4 years. They had lots of data. They were getting results. But why are you leaving? And he said, they're not proactive. They're not taking, our specific business into account. They're just sort of giving us the strategies that they give these other 1,500 law firms and seeing if it works. And it's kind of like throwing paint at a wall. But we came in and we did something really different. We developed a very comprehensive and holistic strategy around 8 or 12 different disciplines. And it went from, website and SEO and all the paid media efforts to removing every single negative review they have across 4 locations on Google, cleaning up all their directory listings, putting together like an amazing content strategy. And in their first year, we generated 8,860 leads for them. We were able to reduce their ad spend by $100,000 over the previous year. We attributed 13.4 million in new client case revenue in year one from the leads that we sent over. Now, of course, for a law firm, that's the business they generated in year one. They're actually getting a lot more business because some of those clients and cases stick on for 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
The total ROI from all marketing efforts, including our agency fees, was 19.8x, a 20x return in year one.
Wow.
And now we're getting better. I think we generated about 10,000 leads last year. We shifted over some of the ad spend with Google because we made it more efficient. We took them from a 6% conversion to a 15% conversion across 28 campaigns and hundreds of ad groups. So we tripled the conversion rate, which allowed us to pull back some of that ad spend and then shift more of it into SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this year, they'll receive well over 10,000 leads, and we've got a 53% of those leads are coming from SEO, so they don't cost anything on a click. And we just keep expanding the website. And we've got really smart people in SEO, but also in copy and content, design, development. So we're developing this online, asset for them that's returning more than anything they've ever invested in from a marketing standpoint.
Awesome. I love that. I'm going to ask you a question that maybe it'll make you chuckle, but a lot of people ask me this question when I approach them. They say, do blogs really work still?
Yep. Yeah, so it's absolutely. If you look at the top 10 most traffic pages on our website, and we're a digital marketing agency competing against other digital marketing agencies, and there's millions of them. And we get about 68% of our business annually from our website. 4 of the top 10 most trafficked pages on our website are blog posts. One of them was a blog that I wrote like 4.5 years ago when I started a new agency, to talk about referrals are not the answer. What we started the conversation with.
Yeah.
And blogs absolutely work. What blogs allow you to do is dive into topics deeper, right? So when we talk about on our page, maybe there's okay, here's an example for a law firm. Let's say scooter accidents. The scooters that you have that we saw years ago with like Bird and Lyft and all those stuff.
Right.
But we dove deeper into case law and settlements and all that stuff with blog posts. And then we did interlinking within the website to link that blog post back to personal injury type topics and service pages. And, that interlinking really helps. It also, if you think about the ethos of Google, right? Making accessible the world's information to its users, paraphrasing it, but essentially it's trying to aggregate the world's information and make it universally acceptable to its users' search based on their criteria, based on their term and phrase.
Right.
What blogging allows us to do is go deeper into all of those long tail topics, keywords, and phrases to provide the information to Google on what Google's looking for to accomplish its mission statement.
Correct.
So, yes, blogging works, and that's silly to say it doesn't. Now, blogging doesn't work if you don't combine it with proper SEO strategy and techniques to follow through with it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people think, I'll just blog and I'll put it up on the website. Well, no.
It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
That's like forgetting to put your new home on a street.
It's rolling down the street there.
Yeah.
It's on a truck.
Billboard, but it's in the desert. No one sees it.
Yeah. The reason I asked that question is because as you were going through the story with that client that you helped so much, one of the things that you mentioned was blog, and I just had this conversation with a client, well, not a client yet, but a prospect of mine, and I was telling him, hey, we should blog, and he was, I was told blogging doesn't work anymore. And
Yeah.
social media is everything. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a
No,
tough
the
one.
problem is, here's the problem. As human beings, we often ask the wrong people for advice and we listen to them. And you shouldn't do that.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
I'm going through a bunch of dental work right now. I shouldn't be listening to what my mom thinks or my girlfriend thinks or what, one of my employees thinks. I should be listening to my freaking dentist,
Yeah.
you know, or another dentist,
Yeah.
but not, not my barber, not my plumber, not my attorney. And that's the
Yeah.
problem in digital marketing is everybody thinks they have an opinion about it. And then they listen to those people.
Yeah. Listen to them. Yeah. Yeah. That's a big thing. And then, everybody does marketing now. So,
Yeah.
you've done marketing for more than 6 months. You're an expert. So,
Yeah. I've gotten a referral before. So I'm a marketing expert. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Good luck next.
that's awesome. All right. So, obviously you've got a lot of experiences with these attorneys and you've been doing this for a long time. You have multiple businesses to run. You know, first of all, how do you find the time? That's number one. And number two, what else do you do that really jazzes up Pat Dillon? Like what hobbies do you have?
So, on the time thing, one thing is I do 0% of fulfillment here. So, and that's by design because,
Mhm.
I want to hire people better than me. And I don't do SEO or ads or do design or do development or, manage or directory listings for clients or, I put good people in a room.
Mhm.
And I've built up a multi-million-dollar payroll of experts that are absolutely the go-to people for that particular discipline. So often business owners still think that like there's a website designer out there that can build a website. No human being on earth can build a successful website. It takes an army of experts to build a great marketing machine. Now, putting up a pamphlet website, anybody can do that, but there's by no means should someone be thinking it's going to grow their business. And so, I'm able to do a lot because my job is to put the right people in the right seats and make sure they work together well. And it's like that in all my businesses. And, then my role is to, pay attention and figure out when resources are needed and go and figure out how to get those resources. What I really love to do is talk to business owners about growing their business and figuring out what the challenges are, what's keeping you up at night, and then how do we overcome that and reach your goals on an appropriate budget. Outside of work, I mean, I really like creating businesses. I think it's such a creative avenue in life to be able to, be in a bunch of different businesses. I in particular, I like whiskey, and I have a really good friend that really likes whiskey, and he grew up a huge business and sold it for a bunch of money. And we've always wanted to do something together, so we're starting a whiskey business.
Yeah.
And we fly over to Dublin in 2 months to meet our distillers, and like that seems like it's going to be really fun. And we don't need to do it quick. We don't need to flip it really quick. I mean, we have all the time in the world. We're going to have a bunch of fun with it. And I love to travel, and travel affords me an opportunity to meet new people and business owners that are doing the same thing, and so it's back to sort of crafting the life you want. I've used the agency to craft a life that I think I enjoy, and I want to continue doing. Because especially in this particular case, I don't want to build and sell this thing. It's too much fun to run.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. It's funny. I'm a huge, I love whiskey as well. So I'd love to try your brand whenever you
I'll
have
get
it.
your address. You'll get a bottle when we get it over.
Yeah, I love it. Nothing like a good whiskey and a good cigar.
Yeah.
Um, all right, awesome. So what is, I mean, I know you've done a ton, like, and you don't want to sell this business, but what would you advise someone who has that aspiration to say, hey, I want to, I don't know, start any business, but let's just talk about digital marketing in this sense. What would you advise that person to do
So is
right
this like
now in 2024?
a business owner that's looking to like find somebody to help with digital marketing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or yeah, how would you advise that person to grow it?
When it comes to growing a business, the most important thing is communication. You've got to find the right partners and you've got to communicate with them uh, in an appropriate manner.
Mhm.
Your bookkeeper, your accountant, your attorneys, your marketing firm, all these people, I so often talk to business owners that are just like, we're just looking to, put some in place. You go do your thing, I'll go do my thing. Yeah, all in the conversation there. Nice to meet you, Joe. It's not a good fit. We wish you the best of luck. We need to communicate with our partners because in digital marketing, it's almost more important than with your law firm or your accounting because most of that stuff is transactional. They're setting up an entity or they're filing your taxes or they're looking into something. But in marketing, we have to attribute success and failure back to our marketing partner in near real time. Otherwise, the relationship doesn't work. We don't take that client who had really great results, as according to the marketplace, at 6% conversion rate, to a 15% conversion rate on a $600,000 a year ad spend without communication. We do that because in real time, they're reporting back to us on the success and failure of those 60 leads on average per day that we're sending them. And without that, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And so, I think the most important thing is to be really realistic. I actually had a business partner with my first janitorial company. And right off the bat, I could tell this guy is not the right partner because we hired a bookkeeper who was my bookkeeper for several of my other companies. And he wouldn't respond to her when she asked him things. And I said, what the hell's going on? And he says, listen, she works for us. I'll get back to her when I have time. And I sat him down. I said, that's not the way this is going to work. She needs to get that information from us now so that she can finish the P&L for this month and help us make decisions. This isn't, somebody that you just hired and you can get back to whenever you want.
No. Communication is key. I'm glad you said that. That's 100%. 100%. And there's also a lack of respect on his part.
Totally.
Too.
Yeah. And like, why is that person going to want to continue, giving us the attention that we deserve and we're paying for if you're just going to treat them like a jerk?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Out of curiosity, what's the website where people could get a hold of you in case they wanted to know more about you?
Absolutely. WiseDigitalPartners.com.
WiseDigitalPartners.com. I love it. I'm going to drop a link to that in the show notes. And I understand people told me that you have a podcast as well.
No, I don't. I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts.
Oh, you're a pod. Oh, okay. So I was ill-informed then.
Yeah. It seems like too much work to do what you're doing.
What was that?
It seems like too much work to do what you're doing.
Oh,
you know, jump in different parties.
I gotta tell you, I kind of love it.
Yeah.
This is part of the thing that I do. This is the only thing that I do right now in my business still, because I do have people doing other stuff for me.
Yeah.
But I like to do this because it introduces me to people like yourself. So it's that's one of the things I like about it. All right, so I would definitely drop a link to your website on the in the show notes. This has been really good. It's been educational for me in terms of everything that you do. I'm impressed by all of the successes that you've had. Much success on that. Please keep me posted on the whiskey thing because I'm very interested in that.
I'll make sure you send me your address. I'll put you on the list.
Yep, definitely. And but before I let you go, is there anything I did not ask you that you think would benefit the audience?
I think that one thing that business owners, for the business owners that are out there listening, the thing that you need to do and you need to focus on is your reputation. Focusing on getting great reviews is something that the business owner really has to be responsible for and take take hold of. The rest, their digital marketing partner can manage. But the first thing that you should be doing is putting a strategy in place so that your business builds a good reputation online. And you have to realize that you can't ask for reviews on certain platforms like Yelp, and you can't ask for reviews on certain platforms like Google. And getting proactive about it, where applicable, is really important for the business owner. You can't outsource that.
No, that's true. I love that. I'm glad I asked that question because yes, I did miss that question about the importance of reviews, especially from an SEO perspective, because everything happens organically. So I'm glad I'm glad I remembered to ask that question, and the way you answered it was perfect. So, hey, again, Pat, thanks for coming, and this has been really, really great. I would love to have you again at some point, maybe later on in the year or maybe next year or something, just to have an update as to what's going on with the whiskey thing, and of course the other digital partners.
For sure,
But I am going to put an end to this episode. This has been Frank Zemming, the local business guy, and you've just been blessed by the great Pat Dillon. Until next week, everyone, take care and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you would like to know more about the topic we discussed on the show today, reach out to Frank and his team at 888-416-7752 and schedule a discovery call with one of the marketing consultants. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, send an email to podcast@lbmsllc.com and we will put you on the schedule. With that being said, until next week, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.